Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, listener, here we are. It's actually a pretty big moment for us.
It really is.
This is our 96th deep dive into Dante's Divine Comedy. 96.
Yeah.
Which means, we're just 4 cantos away from the absolute end.
Incredible. And pick up where we left off last time, Dante reaching the prima mobile.
Exactly. That final physical sphere, right? Where the material cosmos kind of bumps up against pure spirit.
Where he sees God as that point of light surrounded by the angels, the threshold.
So today, we're diving into Canto 29 of Paradise. And like we've been doing, especially lately, we're looking for, practical wisdom, things you can maybe use.
Yeah, it's been interesting how our analysis has sort of evolved, hasn't it? From pure interpretation to finding these universal nuggets.
Definitely. And you suggested focusing on how this canto, even with all its theology, speaks to things like love, freedom, communication, stuff relevant to anyone's life journey.
Precisely. Beatrice is guiding him, teaching these deep theological points, but underneath there are lessons for all of us.
Okay, so let's unpack the first big one. Beatrice talks about why God created everything, the universe, the angels.
Right. And it wasn't because God was, lacking something.
No, she says it was pure love, an unfolding of love. What's the practical takeaway there?
Well, I think it points to something fundamental. True love, genuine giving, isn't about filling a void in yourself. It's an overflow. It comes from fullness, wanting to share joy, not out of neediness. It echoes what we saw before, right? Love intensity equals spiritual greatness.
So giving from abundance, not scarcity.
Exactly. Think about how often maybe we give us expecting something back, even just appreciation. Dante frames creation itself as this purely generous act.
That's powerful, but then almost in the next breath, Beatrice talks about Lucifer's fall right after creation. That feels jarring.
It does seem jarring, doesn't it? Love creates, then rebellion happens almost instantly. But that's the point, I think. It directly teaches us that freedom, even in a perfect state, comes with real responsibility, huge responsibility.
Okay. So the potential for the wrong choice is always there, inherent in freedom itself.
The choice exists, and so does the weight of that choice. Lucifer's fall shows the immediate consequence of misusing that divine gift of freedom. Agency matters.
And then Beatrice shifts again to something that feels surprisingly contemporary.
Yeah, that bit about the preachers.
Right. She criticizes those who dish the actual gospel message for, like fables and she calls it jokes and antics, just to get laughs or impress the crowd.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's a timeless lesson on authentic communication. Especially if you're in any kind of teaching or guiding role, be sincere. Don't go for the cheap laughs or the spectacular show over the actual substance.
It's like Dante saw the influencer culture coming, almost.
Maybe so. That spectacularization, as you put it earlier, it's a really strong warning against style over substance.
Okay, and then she talks about the angels themselves. An infinite number, she says, but each one completely unique.
Yes. And that's another key takeaway for me. Even in heavenly perfection, individuality is treasured. Uniqueness is richness, not something to be smoothed over.
So conformity isn't the goal, even in paradise.
Apparently not. And there's another layer there. Angels know God through direct vision. They don't just, read about God. It encourages us to seek direct experience, direct understanding of truth, not just settle for secondhand accounts or superficial images. Knowledge as participation, actually being in it, not just observing.
That makes sense. Experiencing truth rather than just hearing about it.
Right.
And there's that really mind-bending bit, too. Beatrice clarifying that time itself didn't exist before creation.
Oh, yeah. That's extraordinary.
That there was no when, because time was created along with the universe.
It's just, wow, it feels incredibly modern, like it anticipates 20th century cosmology, the Big Bang, the idea of space-time originating together.
A poet in the 1300s nailing that. It shows the sheer depth of this poem.
Absolutely. Just woven in there.
So, wrapping this canto up, what are the big messages for us, for you listening? We've got true love as this generous overflow.
Giving from fullness. And the immense weight that comes with freedom, with our choices.
Yeah, responsibility.
Yeah.
And then the need for real sincerity in how we communicate, avoiding the superficial.
Right. Authenticity. And finally, valuing the uniqueness in everyone and seeking that deeper, direct experience of things.
So for your own journey, maybe think about that idea of giving from abundance. Even when things feel tough, how can you operate from a place of fullness?
It's a good question to sit with. These lessons, they keep resonating, don't they? This whole journey with Dante, it just keeps offering insights.
It really does. And it's been fascinating to see how our own deep dives have deepened over these 96 cantos. We're so close to the end now.
Almost there.
Well, thank you for joining us for this 96th exploration of paradise. We're excited to share the next one with you very soon.